Welcome to the Warframe Weapon Encyclopedia, where today we're checking out the Magnus. You can get the blueprint for the Magnus from the market for 20,000 credits, and to build it you're gonna have to put an additional 25,000 credits, 2 rocket cells, 400 alloy plates, 900 salvage and 100 ferrite. The Magnus is a mastery rank 10 semi-automatic secondary pistol that does primarily impact damage but still has a decent amount of puncture and slash, and it comes with 22% crit chance, a standard 2x screen multiplier and 22% status chance, and it sports an 8-round magazine with a 1.8 second reload. Now, while the Magnus does kick a little bit, the accuracy on it is absolutely perfect. So basically, as long as you can see the enemy, you can shoot them. On top of all of that, the Magnus has access to the very unique Deadly Maneuvers mod, which on a dodge roll gives you 400% headshot critical chance for your next 2 shots. This is one of the many mods that were introduced with Nightwave, and it's actually very interesting, especially if you do wield the Magnus with a glyph, because you don't want to roll every time you want to shoot something. That would be ridiculous. But if you combine it with a glyph, you can use the glyph with a volatile mod to clear the smaller enemies and take care of the bigger enemies with the Magnus. So if you have the Deadly Maneuvers mod and you want to use it on the Magnus, I would highly recommend you combine it with a glyph. It's definitely the best thing you can do on the Magnus because the damage is pretty nice. If, however, you do not have access to Deadly Maneuvers, a hybrid setup with Viro and Heat is going to be just fine. Now, you might be tempted to go for a Hemorrhage build here instead because the weapon does do primarily impact damage, but trust me, it's not worth it because the fire rate is too high and the damage distribution doesn't favor impact enough to make it worth it. So a standard secondary hybrid is going to be much better for you. Now, while this setup isn't as strong as the Deadly Maneuvers build, of course, it is far more usable, let's just say, because, well, you don't need to roll before every other shot. And it feels pretty good up to level 60 or 70. I wouldn't really push it much past that because you start running into issues with Eximus units. You can of course push the Magnus a lot further if you use primed and galvanized mods and you're maybe even running an arcane, but I wouldn't really do that if I were you. I would just save that for the Magnus Prime. I genuinely think the Magnus is a good gun. It's really cheap, especially for a mastery rank 10 weapon. It's fun to use, it sounds great, and it has a really cool, unique mod. So I would actually recommend you pick it up and give it a shot, because you might as well. It's so insanely cheap, you might as well pick it up, have a bit of fun with it, get some extra mastery from it, and at the same time figure out whether or not you want to go for the Magnus Prime, which is, well, just a better version of the Magnus. Now, one thing that the Magnus has going for it, and this to a lesser extent goes for the Prime as well, is that the Riven disposition is fairly high. These weapons aren't super popular, so the Rivens you can get for them are pretty spicy. That's where these weapons can really go off, because once you have a solid Riven and you stack that on top of Deadly Maneuvers, and you maybe have Deadhead as well, you can do some serious headshot damage. But anyway, that's pretty much all I wanted to say, so I thank you very much for watching. As always guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video and found it helpful, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.